So we're live. Well, we're not live. I'm not gonna say that. So we're not live. We're recording. Big difference. So what do you want to name the show? Forget innovation? I don't know. That sounds like people may not tune in. They may just forget about our show.
You know, I wouldn't tune in a show that was said like easy innovation or do innovation or whatever, because it's all bullshit. You know, that's what I think, because innovation is one of the most complex things that you can ever have. And even, you know, look at the companies like having all the budget. Apple, whatever. Look at Apple. Where is innovation gone? Give me the answer. Where is it?
Well, I think it passed away with Steve Jobs.
Yeah, but you know, they have all the money, they have all the resources and all in there. And if it was that easy, like here's the 5-step plan to innovation, you know, it's not. It's so difficult and so hard to obtain. So if you approach it with a forget innovation approach, which means like, okay, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, then in the end, probably, you know, you'll probably find a solution on how it works. At least it was my way, because I've been failing like 5,000 times before. Yeah.
Why did I lose your video?
Again?
I lost your video. Can you see me?
Yeah, perfect.
I can't see you. You're blank. Oh, this is due to internet quality issues. Oh boy. Says you're still being recorded though, so that's good news. Can upload after, I guess.
Well,
So what's the name of the show then? What's the name of the show? You don't like innovation ballyhoo?
You could also say innovation theater. We use
Innovation.
it. I don't know.
Tomfoolery. Do you know tomfoolery in Germany?
No, what is that? Can you eat that?
Tomfoolery. Yeah, it's goofing around. It's when you goof around. It's tomfoolery.
Never heard of. What is that?
Yeah.
Ah,
Your
We have
video's
a- we
back
have
on. Your video's back on, by the way.
oh, that's great news.
Yeah.
And now I see the red dot in the up right corner. My God.
The red dot. Oh, I forgot to turn on the. What are we talking about today? Is it resilience or forget innovation, or what do you want to do?
It's up to you.
I mean, this is kind of like this, just dress rehearsal. You know, this isn't like probably going to go out. So
probably should go out.
maybe, yeah, maybe. But I want a job, so you already have one. Yeah.
Oh, great. So,
Yeah. So how's business? How's business?
Business actually is going strange, because a lot of people still talk about innovation, and then we surely have to do it right now because of the ceasing and everything changed, digitalization, whatever. But as soon as they say, okay, starting a real project, things are changing. So I always hear, at least in Germany, you know, German angst. I hear a lot like, we want to start it, but we still have to wait a little bit until blah, blah, blah. So that's the actual situation, whole business doing. Yeah.
So like before the pandemic, people were more willing to put the funds forward. Is that the bottom line?
I think right now everybody is full of fears, right? And Germany was never the biggest company when it comes to innovation. It was always like, oh yes, we have to do that, and then probably next year we can look for the next year then probably. So that's the typical German attitude when it comes to innovation. So we work a lot with international companies that not coming from Germany. It already starts if you go to the Netherlands, like it's our direct neighbor, like 50 kilometers away, and they are totally different when it comes to innovation. It's like, I think it's because, you know, we are still too well off. And innovation comes from the struggle. It doesn't come from, you know, from the wish to having a better product or something, you know. It's always coming from the struggle.
So the question is how to motivate people to innovate.
don't even know if you can motivate. As it comes, as you know, I don't do it anymore. You know, this missionizing of people like you have to innovate. I don't simply don't do it anymore. If they don't want it, okay, we go to the next one. So that's you know, a lot of people talk about innovation, a lot of them, but when it really comes to okay, now we come to the pier, now we're gonna do it, then things are changing and people are so full of fear and it's hard to explain, but you need a lot of guts for doing it. Yeah.
I mean, in your book, you talk about resilience, which I think is really the bottom line with a good innovator. You don't
Yeah.
Right?
From the innovator's perspective, of course, yeah. But for me, I found out, you know, I have lots of resilience. But if you're always talking to people that you know, telling you, yeah, we should do that, we should probably do that. You know, I can't discuss with these people. You know, I need passionate people that are really in and say, oh my God, yes, we start tomorrow. I need people like this for doing innovation product. But it's not happening that often. So,
but the 1 week commitment doesn't that help motivate people? I mean, the financial commitment is relatively low to do a 1 week experiment and to have a MVP at the end. Well,
yeah, that helps absolutely. That's the reason why we changed it. Because you know, back in the days we did like million projects, and we we described, you know, in papers of 100 pages long what we probably could do within these projects. So we simply don't do it anymore, because if you go to a C-level guy that has to decide it, and he looks at the paper stuff and looks at the big numbers, again, fear, and he's not really stopping that project, or he's not against it, but he's just not starting it. So that's something that we experience so often, and from there on we said, okay, but what would be just do the first step 1 week only, and then we can see if after that week, because the product is not what you expected, or the customers are not resonating on that in a positive manner, then you can still stop it. So and that works much more better for us, much more better. So because you know, it's always pretty much the same. I also experienced this also on my own, and then you know, the own stuff was like we want to build a software for innovation, blah blah blah, and I was asked, yeah, what do you expect? What does it cost? And they said, yeah, at least $200,000, and we need like 3 months. And then you know, I recognized on my own that I was like starting to calculate, and somehow it doesn't feel that good. And then one of the guys said, oh, but we can also, of course, like just do 1 week and see how far we progress. And I was all in immediately, you know, okay, let's do that. So
how long have you been doing that? The 1 week.
How are we doing that?
How long have you been doing that? The 1 week.
How long? For a few years now. I think 4 or 5 years now, something like that. Yeah. And before that, we tried Scrum and Agile and all that stuff. You know, it sounds similar, but it's totally different, because you know, all of these projects have a different understanding. And for us, it's 1 week only. And then if the end of the week we don't have something tangible, and we don't have results, and we don't have something that we can test outside on the market, then it's over. You know, it's simple as that. And if you do like Scrum, you know, okay, yeah, next week we have our backload. We put our backload again to our daily scrums, and then we're going to proceed with the project, and motivation curves are again going totally down to ground, right? So for us, none of the other methods doesn't really work. It was always a big pain for us. Yeah.
Do you see a lot of competitors in the market doing the same thing you're doing? The 1 week, four day, 1 week type of approach?
No, of course not, because you know, it's totally counterintuitive. You know, the most people out there, they want to have big projects. You know, they want to have lots of money. They want to earn lots of money. But for me, you know, that's not what drives me. For me personally, I want to see things building up. You know, together with nice people, building stuff, and you can see how things are going to get better, and then testing. That's what drives me. It doesn't. I get so easily bored if you're working like for 3 months on a project, But most of the people, companies out there, they even start with a 3 month project, yeah. So it's for them. It's better to have. I need a 2 year project and with lots of budget, so that we have some sort of, how you say that, secure feeling or whatever. I don't know. But for me, it's totally way around. You know, I don't look for this long customer journey or whatever everybody's talking about. I just give us the challenge, and together we're going to solve it. And at the end of the week, that's it. And you can decide on your own if you proceed, and some weeks later if you have a free slot for that. But I'm not looking for a long-term relationship business blah blah, because you know, for me that's not the motivation, you know.
So what becomes of most of your 1 week engagements? Where do they end up? I mean, you come up with a viable product.
It's totally different, but what they are all in common, that like 99% they have an idea, and they don't. Most of them they already tried to bring this idea to the market, but you know, of course, with internal struggles, they somehow didn't, you know, see any results, and it takes months, and people are getting demotivated and stuff, and then they come to us because, you know, the deadline is coming nearer and nearer, and they say we need some results, and you know, our development team is like working for 6 months on it, and we haven't seen anything, and so, you know, what can we do? And that's one of the biggest struggles we have, right?
Yeah. So isn't this really about accelerating innovation? The show.
It is accelerating, but it's also bringing the fun back into the process, because you know, building something where you don't know where it ends up isn't really a nice job, you know. And if you're a software developer or something, and you know, you get a lot of pressure with budget and whatever, but you still don't really know what direction it's going. And you know, of course, we are all agile, and next week I'm gonna get a totally different direction with my product. That's not fun anymore. You know, you know, today I read some studies where I think it was almost 80% of all the employees feel drowned, and even 60% of the leaders have the same feeling in the end of the day, where they're not fulfilled anymore, because they don't see progress. They don't see, you know, what I've done this whole week or months. There's no tangible results, you know, and that's probably also something we are totally changing in the process.
Because to me, it's about changing the culture of how companies view innovation.
It is,
like you say,
yeah.
Everyone wants to be innovative, right? But what's that mean, to be innovative, and how do you accomplish that? And I don't think most companies know.
Nah, you can't be innovative the whole time. I mean, like it's very like 1% of all employees are probably capable of doing that, right? And the rest of it, we also have employees in our team that say, "Please, Lars, tell me upfront what I have to do. I can't, you know, I don't see that what you are seeing in front of your eyes. But please tell me, I have to go to the right or to the left. What is it?" And you surely don't have the need that everyone in the whole company has to turn on and be innovative the whole time. It's impossible. You can't do that. But for a week, you know, putting in all the guys in there and saying, okay, no pressure. Here's a little amount of money, a little amount of, you know, what you need, prototyping material or whatever. And that's the goal of the week, a clear, tangible goal. You want to achieve that. Could you just try? And by the way, you know, it doesn't matter if you don't achieve the goal, because then we lost a week. Okay, it's not that bad. But then somehow people are getting motivated doing that. And that's so crazy, because they say, okay, now we can't do it like in 5 days. It's impossible. But just from Monday to Tuesday, we're going to give it a try. And then on Tuesday already you see, okay, I don't believe that we can do that. And then on Wednesday they have like first results and bring the results together, like all the small pieces, and they start and say, oh look here, oh that's working, yeah, that's look nice. If you change that one and we can iterate this one, then probably it would even better. And mostly the time on Wednesday they already start like, oh wow, that's crazy, and then they get passionate. Oh man, tomorrow let's speed up the process and make it look even like it's already real or something. And we have the deadline on Thursday, 1800, and it's like 99% of the sprints are so successful that people are astonished by themselves. Oh my god, what have you built here? That's crazy. And the Friday is only there for iteration, getting all the small mistakes out there and flaws, and making it presentable and bringing it out to the market for a small test campaign or something. And then it's so crazy that people don't believe anymore what they are capable of doing in 1 week. But of course you need a full focus, and of course you need other people in your team that are capable of taking some very special task, and not you can't surely not do it on your own, but as a team, if you somehow align with a joint vision of how the product should look like, and that's pretty much the magic. We do it on the first day. On the first day, we're gonna build that vision, and we do scribbles and we do visuals about what we want to achieve, and then something, I would say magic, but in the end it's compared to the normal process, it's magic. Because something happens together in that group that they are 100% motivated, and they go all in, and then things are gonna get doable that weren't doable before, and that's so crazy, that they're never expecting it anymore from themselves, that having such an output. We had customers that were crying in the end of the week. It's really true. Because I said, oh my god, what have you done here?
What'd you do
to them? Yeah.
To make them cry? I mean, torture?
No, because they were so happy.
Happy cry. Happy cry.
No, really. Because, they saw what they built. They were not talking about in theory, they were actually building it. And the funny thing is, like, if you have a white piece of paper in front and you start writing down the concept, it takes a long time. And we don't do concepts anymore. We start building the actual product directly. And the only thing that we do is like having that joint press release for the future. So we have a common understanding about what we want to achieve like in 5 years. And that's it. And everybody, we start and with the first workshop, okay, then please everyone make a small scribble, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. What is your understanding of the product? Just put it on paper. And that's the most difficult part. And from there on, we're going to iterate it. Like someone's looking at the paper and say, oh yeah, that's nice, but can't we do it like in this direction a little bit different? And the iteration is so much easier than always starting with a white paper. And from there on, we just iterate, and in the end of the week, you have like a tangible product, and then we also did like physical products. Most of the times, we have like digital products with some sort of a physical period somehow. But we also build like, products that are 100% physical, and even if people are telling you that's not possible because we have to weld stuff or we have to print stuff, we can't do that, but it is possible. It's just all in your head, that people are always telling you the same story that I can't do that. Just try it, give it a try. If that won't be, give your best.
So the name Granny and Smith, where did that come from?
I have a marketing story and I have a real story. Which one do you want?
I want the real story.
Okay, I start with the marketing story. It's Granny. It's like the old companies, and we are the Smiths, bringing in the new technology, and we combine it. That's the new story. The marketing story. The real story that we were like two companies that were merged together. one company was coming from a technology background, the Smiths. We were the ones who were like, oh my God, it's like 15 years ago. We did first apps and all that stuff. And the other company was coming from a more design perspective. So there was a company where they were always there, and we merged the two ones, and so we searched for a nice name, and that was the decade where Apple was really, really innovative, and we thought something, in the direction of Apple probably, I don't know. Yeah, and then we found this name, and it wasn't reserved or something, and then okay, that would fit. It has some international sound, so we always wanted to go, not stay regional or German, and we tested it, and then they immediately understood it like everywhere in the world, and so we decided, yeah, let's give it a go. It's nice.
Because it's actually Granny Smith Apple. It's not Granny Ann Smith.
Right. And the funny thing is, the Granny Smith Apple is one of the oldest brands in the world, and because brands older than 110 years, you can't get a what's the name of it? You can't get a title for it, but in the combination
Copyright.
with the end, the copyright, yeah, but the combination with the end, it's we got a copyright for that, so great.
All about copyright, huh?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we already had a few
All
companies
about
trying to
copyright.
copy us. Yeah.
Your video cut out again.
Why is that?
I don't know. You got a bad internet connection.
Really? No, I'm on a backbone of the German telecom with a cable.
Need to on the backbone.
No, I really meant in our company building, that in the cellar we have the backbone of Oldenburg. It has like 1,000 megabits, whatever, and we are connected via cable, so should work.
So you hacked in, or are you a legitimate subscriber?
Let's
You
change
don't wanna-
topic.
You don't want to talk about that on the camera. So what's your vision for innovation and companies? Do you see like a bunch of Granny and Smiths in every company?
I don't know.
Where there's an innovation department that's doing these experiments, 1 week at a time.
A lot of companies have tried that, but they build up innovation labs and stuff. It's very popular in Europe. Having a normal company on one hand side, on the other side they're building an innovation lab. But if you look at the output of that, it's not really working that good. So probably, I don't know.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that doesn't work well?
It's a clash of cultures. That's what they're always telling us. People are jealous, and they because some very young guys coming to the company having a fancy offers, 3D printers and everything, and now they're getting the best projects we have. Doesn't help that much. We had lots of projects where the part of our job was like aligning the old and the new ones together, but it wasn't that easy. And yeah, of course, they still don't work in innovation weeks. They work like in 100 days projects and every different kind of method. But the problem is really, if they want to bring the product to the market, they still have to get back to the corporate structures, and then somehow things are gonna lose traction. And that's what we always see on the outside. So if they're not allowed to bring products on the market on their own, lots of them are failing. And right now, we prefer to work together with companies that have not only an innovation lab, but also the allowance to bring their own products to the market. So they don't have to discuss it with with the C-level guys and have to wait like months for approval or something. So that's what we are seeing a lot. Yeah.
So what do you look for, like when you look at a new employee or someone innovative? You're trying to hire someone that's innovative. What qualities do you look for in that person?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like the skill is not so important. I mean, because if someone's really passionate about something, he will acquire that skills in record time. That what we found out. So we changed our hiring process to finding out, is someone really passionate about something, or is he just telling you some nice story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore we make how is it called, a personal development process, where we don't look at the people from a corporate perspective, but from a broader perspective. Like, what is it that makes you as a person? And if that aligns with the understanding of how we're going to want to work in our company, then chances are pretty good that he could be onboarded. And of course, you know, he should bring basic, if it's, you know, a software developer, that's not that easy, because, you know, learning that stuff from zero takes years, you know. So we need passionate software developers, and finding that is not that easy. Most of them, and yeah, it's not really not that easy. And most of them, they prefer getting told what to do, and we need people that have the vision to see what to do, and having the skills and having the passion. So that's something that is, you know, for some people really a challenge. Yeah. But you know, from a wider perspective, for us, it's finding people that are really want to go all in, and don't expect a job to be something that I do between, you know, 9 to 5 and getting some money. It's more like doing something that's totally fulfilling me, you know. And it's not easy to separate between the people that just telling you that they are, and people that are really having it, because you can see it up front. You can just judge. You can't judge book by the cover. You say it like that.
Yeah.
But we get the people in a sprint, and then we see it immediately if someone is capable of doing what he says, or if someone is just more how you say that, a normal guy or whatever.
Yeah. So when you bring somebody on board, I mean, in the interview process, I mean, how do you figure out? I mean, do you bring him in for a trial period, or do you? I mean, how do you?
Yeah. We have that trial period in Germany. That's normally a half year. That's every contract you make is a half year trial period. And
try before you buy. I like that.
Yeah, it's, you know, sometimes I observe that people really believe that they are innovators. Yeah. But as soon as they're into it, they probably find out, oh my God, that's not that easy.
Wait, are you talking about me? Or?
But then, I think,
because that's not very nice to talk about your co-host like that.
If you feel self-addressed, Clayton, I can do nothing about that.
If I what? I'm sorry. Was that English? What'd you
no,
say?
that's some typical German saying.
Life is not a pony farm, okay, Lars?
Life is not a pony farm. If you're resonating with something like that, it's your fault. It means like that. So I'm not responsible for your flaws. Oh, yeah, that's typical German.
Too many.
Yeah. So what was the topic again?
Well, I threw you totally off, didn't I? How do you vet people? How do you figure out? You get the 6 months trial period, and you just see how it goes.
Yeah, you see it immediately. If someone's in a sprint, you see it immediately in 1 week. And sometimes you also did like, okay, come on board for 1 week and check it out if it's also something for you, right? Because it's not normal working. Nobody is telling you up front what you have to do. Nobody can even. Nobody in the sprint has even a slight idea where this is heading. So, can you cope with that? I mean, it's like maximum insecurity, right?
Yeah, can you do testing, like standardized testing for potential employees in Germany? Is that allowed? Like here
I don't know.
this employers are starting to do. It's basically an IQ test that you have to take before the interview.
Yeah, you can make a lot, but of course, you have the German Datenschutz. You heard about that?
Yeah, I'm,
It's crazy
I'm
stuff.
sure it's awesome. Whatever
Yeah,
it is.
it's pretty awesome. We're not allowed to use any personal data at all. Um, it's really crazy bullshit. But if someone really wants to onboard with us, we don't look at that law anymore, and we get on a much more personal level then. And it's not a typical corporate talk like what do you see yourself like in 5 years, blah blah. It's more it's
Where do you
more on
see
a
yourself in 1 week?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you're still standing in 1 week like that?
Yeah.
Okay, then get in and show me and don't tell.
Where do you see
Yeah,
yourself in 1 week?
yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. We're almost out of time. We've
What?
been talking 31 minutes.
And that can't be possible. It must be like 5 minutes.
So I think that we're going to end this experiment for today. How long do you think the show should go? How long should we talk?
Good idea. Just let it flow. Getting the right people on board, talking together with them about the most difficult topic in the world. Everybody wants it. Nobody gets it. So I think, even if you talk to the serial entrepreneur or something, I'm pretty sure that he can't tell you what are the 10 steps of innovation. Probably that could be quite interesting. Getting people on board that they've really done it and they're not just talking or something. They don't want to do some marketing show or whatever, but telling from their own failures and stuff. I think that's where you can learn the most from, right? And what I see a lot on the outside is like where people try to market themselves as the best experts and stuff. And from my perspective, I can tell you that there can't be an expert for innovation, because if there was an expert, someone has done it before, right? So innovation is something we have never done before, so we can't be an expert. Similar to that. There is I think talking with people about something like that would be really interesting, because there's a lot of mindset things going on, but on the outside, if I have a podcast about mindset, from an engineering perspective, I simply can't listen to that because it's awkward. But bringing it together from a business perspective and innovator's perspective, that would be quite nice, talking about stuff like that. Yeah. And of course,
Cool.
resilience. Yeah.
Resilience. So anyway, it's a good test run. I'm sure we'll get some sound bites out of it, like those little sound bites
You
you
have to
post.
do a lot of cut work. How you say that? Cutting and
Editing.
Editing,
Yeah.
right?
I hired
Yeah,
an
yeah.
editor.
Really?
We're gonna send the bill to you.
Oh my God, no, please stop. We have a new software going on here. That's really crazy stuff. We have an
New software.
AI based video software cutting going on here, like for a few weeks. And I'm so you hit a button, and this software cuts out all R's and R's. And if you say something wrong, you can edit the text, and it's editing the voice.
Get out.
Really, it's so crazy. Yeah.